everybody. Hi, Anne, tuning in from Long Beach, California. Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024, the last day of April. So tomorrow is May 1st, May Day. I am coming to you from the beautiful state of Michigan, where we have a glorious spring day. It is 72 degrees and the sun is shining, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Today, I wanted to celebrate spring by talking about dandelions, dandelion flowers, dandelion greens, and dandelion root. All three of them. In fact, I'm going to make 3 different teas so we can see what the difference is between the flower, the leaves, and the root. And so thank you so much for tuning in. I am Chef Val. My name is Valerie Wilson, and my business name is MacroVal. And my website is macroval.com. I've been teaching healthy, whole foods cooking classes for 27 years. I'm also vegan, so I don't use any animal products. I'm the author of 6 cookbooks, and I teach cooking classes on a regular basis. And a few times a month, I go live with you on Facebook and YouTube. And so when you are following me on my Facebook page, MacroVal Food, or maybe my personal page, and you see there's a live video, you can go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know where you're tuned in from. And if you're tuned in on my YouTube channel, of course, do the same thing. Leave a comment, say hello. You can also ask any question you want. That's the really cool thing about going live, is that if you ask a question, I can answer it at the same time. So I adore springtime. I actually have to say that summer is my favorite season, but spring is pretty darn exciting. And I love spring also. Everything is getting so colorful outside, right? All the trees are budding and the greens are coming out and the flowers are coming out. I love wildflowers. I just really love wildflowers. Many years back, I got one of those wildflower identification books, and I still have the book, and I still carry it with me when I go out in the woods. And I love identifying the wildflowers. In my backyard, I have wild violets growing. I have dead nettles, which I'll be talking about in a little bit, which has a teeny purple flower on it, and then henbite, which is another really small purple flower. And if you don't know anything about henbite, watch the last live video that I did where I talked all about henbite, and I made henbite tea. And of course, dandelion flowers. So remember when you were a kid and you used to pick the dandelion flowers because you thought they were so beautiful, and you would make a bouquet and you would probably give it to your mom, and your mom probably was very gracious and thought they were beautiful and went, yay, but everybody else thought they were weeds. Well, that's a shame because they're not a weed. They're a very healthy, medicinal healing plant that has so many health aspects to it. And actually, if you want to go back in our history, back in the 1800s, people used to grow dandelions all the time in their lawns. In fact, they would pick out and pluck out the grass to get rid of the grass so the dandelions could grow. We do the opposite now, right? We pick out the dandelions because we want the grass to grow. I don't know why. That seems crazy. So I have some water boiling on the stove already because we're going to make 3 different kinds of tea today. Do a little experiment, see what the taste difference is, see what the color difference is, and go from there. So I have dandelion flowers that I picked. These dandelion flowers, I literally picked a half hour ago. I went outside and picked these because I wanted them to be fresh for my tea. So you wash them. I have to tell you, ants like dandelions. They like the flower. They like the green. So you got to wash them really well. I think I rinsed these and washed these 4 times to make sure there weren't any ants left on them. And what's really interesting is that I picked this dandelion flower probably about 3 hours ago, and it's already closed up because the flowers will close up after you pick them. So these are fresh, they're more open. Now to get really cool yellow dandelion tea, you want to just use the yellow flower part of it, okay? The stem will give it a little bit of a green color, but that's okay. We want predominantly yellow. Now I have over there approximately 2 cups of water boiling right now. And I'm actually going to turn the heat off and then throw these flowers in there because I don't want to boil the flowers. I want the flowers to steep in the hot water, but not boil them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just basically picking the stems off here. And I know people say, well, what's the measurement? What's the measurement? Really, when I make teas from wild plants, I eyeball it. I really do eyeball it. But I would say, depending on the plant, I mean, like I said, I have 2 cups of water over there. I would take the dandelion greens and put them in the palm of my hand. So that's going to give me about a half a cup of dandelion flowers. Okay. Throw them in the pot back here. I turn off the water, throw them in the pot. Let them steep, right? Okay. Now, I'm also going to do dandelion green leaves, the leaves tea. So I have dandelions that I bought from the store, organic dandelion greens, and I have dandelion greens. These greens I just picked out in my yard at the same time I picked the flower. These are the greens I bought from the store, which I'm going to show you how to store them, the best way to store them. And then what this is this is the stem. When I buy dandelion greens from the store, they're much bigger and there's a lot of stem. So I've already been cooking with the dandelion greens and putting them in stir fries and salads and things like that. So I use the green part more for cooking purposes, and then the stem part that's left over, I always use this part to make the tea because it's left over and I can utilize it. Now you can also make the tea with the green leafy part too. It's up to you. It's just, I always like to utilize the whole plant if I can. So I'm just going to break this up. If you put smaller pieces in the tea, more flavor comes out. Okay. And again, I have approximately 2 cups of water, and I'll throw a palmful of dandelion greens in there. Boop. All right. So then we're going to let that steep. I'll let it steep while I talk to you and give you the health benefits. And last but not least, I have dandelion root tea. Now, I did not dig up the roots because I have this dandelion root tea that's already done it for me in a little tea bag. If you want to dig up the roots, go ahead and dig up the roots. You got to make sure that you clean them, though, because the roots are going to be where all the dirt is. And I'm going to put my tea bag into the hot water, and I'm just going to let it steep again for a while. Okay. All right. So when you want to wild forage and you want to go out in your yard and you want to pick these plants, please make sure that you haven't sprayed your yard or anything like that. We don't want chemicals going into the food that we're eating. We especially don't want chemicals going into the special teas that we make. Because when you make a tea, you're bringing out the flavor, you're bringing out the essence of the plant. And if there's chemicals sprayed on it, then the flavor will be bitter because chemicals are bitter and they're toxic to your body, and we don't want that. So always pay attention that you want to make sure that it's not sprayed. So I haven't sprayed my lawn since I've lived here. a long time, 17 years. So I'm good. Now, if you went out somewhere to like a park or something and you wanted to pick some of their plants, you might want to do some research to find out if they spray or not. Because even though there might be some wild flowers there like dandelions, they might have sprayed in the past. You don't know for sure. So you just have to be cautious about that, okay? But most of the time, if you see a pristine lawn with no dandelions in it, chances are they've sprayed that lawn. But if you see a lawn that's full of dandelion greens, it's most likely organic and hasn't been sprayed, right? So again, if you want to harvest the flowers, you want to go out there with a pair of scissors and just chop the flower off, because that's all you really need is the flower part of it. What are you going to do with the flower part of it? Well, let's see, we could put it in our hair as a decoration. Remember doing that as a kid too? Putting it in your hair as a decoration. For medicinal purposes, because I don't think it's, well, energetically, it would probably make you happy if you put the flowers in your hair. And so that would be part of the healing process, is to be happy and put the flowers in your hair. But for medicinal purposes, for eating it or whatever, making the tea is a wonderful thing to do. They say you can eat the dandelion flower too. It's bitter to the taste. I'm trying to remember if I ever tried putting in a salad. I don't think so, but I do know that if you wanted to eat it, how can I show this in the camera? It's kind of a close-up thing. If you wanted to eat it, I would advise that you go like this and you take the petals, okay? Just take these yellow petals out like so. Now, I did do that a few years ago. I added the dandelion petals to a jam I was making. It was a fruit jam, and it was a combination of blueberries, blackberries, and dandelion. And so I took the petal part of it, but not the little bud part. And so, because they say you can eat the dandelions, but this would be really, really chewy, this part of the flower, right? All right, so let's taste this. Yeah, it's bitter. So, yeah, I mean, the flavor of dandelions is bitter. There's no avoiding it. So whether you use the petals of the flower, the greens, although it's interesting, the root is not as bitter as the flower in the green part. So that's interesting. But so you could put it in soup. Again, I would use it as seasoning in the soup, and I would just use a little bit. And I have put it in jams before. In fact, I have every intention of making some more of that beautiful dandelion jam very soon. Now, on the computer, it exploded, a couple years ago, where everybody was making dandelion flour. I think it was jelly, because they strained it. And everybody was asking me about it. And here's the situation. They would take the yellow flowers and they would boil them with a lot of sugar. So much sugar, because they had to overcome the bitterness of the dandelion flower. So when I did some research, being that I don't eat white refined sugar, and I don't advocate that anybody eats white refined sugar, I use all natural sweeteners. I think I would have to use an awful lot of brown rice syrup with a little bit of maple syrup to overcome the bitterness of the dandelion. And that would make making the jelly very expensive. So I haven't done that. So what I did, I come up with in my mind, I'm always thinking of food. Again, I mixed it with blueberries and blackberries. This was like, I think 3 years ago. I made the jam with dandelion flowers, blackberries, and blueberries. And then I pureed it. And it was very interesting and it was unique. So I really like that. Now, the dandelion greens are so much more versatile. You can use those in so many recipes, and I do. Okay. So, dandelion greens, again, soup. You can always put them in soup. Just chop them up small and put them in soup. Salads. The dandelion greens are not as bitter as the flower. So, you put them in salads. Here, let's taste some of it. Now, these are the dandelions that I just picked out of my lawn. That's yummy. So fresh. Not as bitter as the flowers. These are the dandelions that I bought from the store, organic dandelions. So they've been sitting in the store, so they're not as fresh as what I picked out of my yard, right? So let's taste these. Yeah, the fresh ones are more tender, easier to chew, better flavor. The ones in the store are a little more bitter. They're still not bad because I buy the ones in the store all the time because I cook a lot. I couldn't get enough out of my yard, right? But that's so interesting. That's why I'm doing this taste test. So the dandelion flowers, very bitter. The greens that I picked out of my yard, bitter but tender and delicious. The ones that I bought from the store, still delicious, but not as tender and a little more bitter. So stir fries. I just taught a cooking class, or the cooking class last night. I didn't stir fry it. I added the dandelions raw. I think the new recipe that I've created, or maybe it was the recipe. No, a recipe in a class Thursday. Last Thursday, I had a cooking class. I sauteed the dandelion greens. So you can saute them, put them in a stir fry. And so you can use the dandelion greens in just so many ways. Always remember, and I know I've said this already, but I keep saying it, they're bitter to the taste. So don't use a lot. Use just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. That's all you need. So let's say you go to the store and you buy your beautiful organic dandelion greens from the store. They usually come in a big bunch. So here's how you would want to store them and work with them and use them. First of all, you're going to get them from the store and you're going to take them out of the bundle that they come in and you're going to wash them really good. Colette. Hi, Colette. Awesome. Colette says, hello, just popping in for a minute. Busy day here. Well, thank you so much for commenting and thank you for joining. I'm teaching and talking all about dandelion greens. So you would get them home and you would take them out of the bundle and you would wash them. Make sure they're nice and clean. Use however many dandelions you want. And then whatever's left, I put them in a bouquet like this. This one's sticking out. See, and then I wrap a wet paper towel around the roots. And so the moisture absorbs into the leaves. Dawn, hi Dawn. Dawn's watching while she's taking care of her granddaughter, Rosie. Thank you, Dawn, for commenting and thank you for tuning in. And so this is the best way to store dandelion greens. Put some wet paper towel on the end. And then I put them back into the plastic bag like so. And I store them in the fridge. Now, I have to tell you, dandelion greens do not last very long in the refrigerator. So you need to use them up. Probably less than 7 days. They're such a delicate green that they don't last very long. This is the best way I've found to preserve them and use them. Now, I always get asked this question, can you freeze them? Yes, I actually have frozen more so the stems. So again, I use a lot of dandelion greens in my cooking in the springtime, but I like using the greener part more. So what's left is the stem. And if I'm not going to use the stem, I will chop it up and put it in the freezer. And then usually what I use the frozen dandelion stems for is to make tea, because it doesn't matter if you take it out of your freezer and put it in boiling water and make the tea. It works perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not using it for presentation purposes like in a salad. In a salad, you want the pretty greens, right? So you wouldn't want to take some frozen, dandelion stems out and put it in a salad. It would just be better for a tea. Okay. So those are the dandelion flowers, stems, and greens. Okay. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. All the people that are here, if you haven't already, hit that like button so that there's a like on there. And if you feel so inclined, you could share the video. And by all means, ask me questions if you want. And I know Colette and Dawn are here in the beautiful state of Michigan. We're having a beautiful day, 72 degrees. And Anne's in California. And I don't know what the weather's like in California right now. So there you go. And so why in the world would you want to eat and use dandelions, right? Because weren't we all like taught as a kid, oh, that's a weed. That's a weed. Well, what exactly is a weed? A weed is a plant that just grows where we don't want it to, right? But if you do some research, most of the things that people call quote unquote weeds and they don't like have medicinal purposes. They have healing purposes, and they have things that will help your body stay healthy. Anne says it's sunny in California. Thank you, Anne. I don't know if anybody's listening and feels so inclined, put in the comment section, what are some things that you've heard about dandelions? Because I know there's a lot of stuff on social media now, and people are posting about dandelions and the health benefits of dandelions and how they could be good for you. But I still think people are kind of confused about how to use the dandelion. So they're reading all the health benefits, but like, okay, so what am I going to do? How am I going to use this? That's why I wanted to do this video, to teach you how to use it. Anne says the difference between a weed and a flower is a judgment. Proverb. Yes. Can I ask an off-topic nutritional question? Colette asked. Absolutely, Colette. Ask me any questions. That's why I go live. Yeah. I'm talking about dandelions, but ask me any questions if you want. Sure, absolutely. So yeah, utilize the dandelion greens. You can go outside and pick them. Most stores have them. Right now, they're in the stores. You may not find dandelion greens fall time because it's a spring plant, right? So you definitely want to get them now. Being the springtime, according to the ancient Oriental knowledge of the 5 transformations of energy, we are in the spring season, which is considered the tree season. And the organs that we feed and nurture at this time are the liver and the gallbladder. So the liver and gallbladder. So dandelion greens help cleanse the liver, and they help cleanse the gallbladder. They help break down fat and excess stored fat in your body and flush it out. Dandelion is for detox, is what I've heard. Absolutely, Anne. That's what I'm talking about. Flushing out your liver, cleansing the body of excess stored fat. In fact, the dandelion can be used medicinally if you have a fatty liver. Now, Colette says high protein, non-animal foods. Okay, so I think she's looking for high protein, non-animal foods. Excellent question, Colette. So, of course, first and foremost, I would probably say beans and legumes. So you got your lentils, you got green and red lentils, you have chickpeas, one of my all-time favorites, kidney beans, black beans, white beans, any type of beans. Excellent source of protein, high protein food. One of my all-time favorite foods, tempeh, naturally fermented soybeans. And because it's fermented, it's easy to digest. So if you have gas when you eat beans, you can use tempeh because it's fermented. Your body can digest it so much easier. And tempeh is a complete protein, contains all 8 essential amino acids. So tempeh is a great high protein food. And then there's quinoa. Quinoa is actually a whole grain, complex carbohydrate but it also contains all 8 essential amino acids, so it is a complete protein. Millet. Millet is a whole grain, but millet is very high in protein. Okay, so you have millet also. Many people don't realize that mushrooms are very high in protein. So I love mushrooms. Anne says avocados is a perfect protein. So I am not a fan of avocados. Number one, I don't like the taste of them. So everybody has different tastes and everything, and I just don't like the taste of avocados. So yeah, so avocados does contain all 8 essential amino acids. Now it's so weird. I've been teaching cooking classes for 27 years. And I've been saying all 8 essential amino acids for 27 years. Now, if you look on the computer, they've added one and it's 9. So you can say 8 or 9. But yeah, so avocado is a complete protein. I do enjoy quinoa and chickpeas. I will start incorporating them with some beans. Thank you. Colette says, you're welcome, Colette. Yeah, and quinoa and chickpeas together, excellent combination. And you know what? I just created a new recipe using chickpeas and quinoa, that combination. Coming up on May 22nd. May 22nd is the next 3-hour-long cooking class that I'm teaching. It's both in person and virtual. So I'm in Westland, Michigan, and I have in-person cooking classes here at my house, which is a lot of fun. It's a 3-hour class because we're making 3 full recipes and everybody's helping making the food. I have some students who attend virtually that are not in Michigan, and they actually cook along with me in their kitchen. So that's a lot of fun too. Now, I just created this new salad that has quinoa, chickpeas. It has so many things in it. It's spring. So it has asparagus, it has dandelion greens, it has arugula, radishes, and it has water chestnuts and green olives. And it has a tahini dressing. That's a new recipe I just created, and it's going to be in the class on May 22nd. It's on the website, and I am so excited about this recipe. This recipe is going to be in the class too. Asparagus cake with sweet potato frosting. Dawn says sounds great. And Dawn has sampled the asparagus cake with sweet potato frosting. Here it is. Asparagus cake with sweet potato frosting. Sometimes I create recipes. I mean, when I create recipes, because I'm teaching them. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't teach them. But some recipes are good and some recipes are, oh my God, absolutely delicious. This asparagus cake with sweet potato frosting, I've made it 5 times. I'm going to make another one today. Dawn says, I have tried the cake. It's awesome. Thank you, Dawn. The cake part is nice and moist. The asparagus with the high water content gives it a beautiful moisture. And then the sweet potatoes, their natural sweet flavor, just makes the frosting awesome. Okay, this is gluten-free. It is sugar-free. And it's low in fat. Healthy cake. Again, that's May 22nd is that cooking class that's coming up. In that class, I'm also going to teach you how to make split pea and asparagus soup, because split peas are another springtime food. Remember, in the springtime, we feed and nurture liver and gallbladder. Anything that cleanses the liver and gallbladder, that would be dandelion greens, right? So let me see here. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit more health benefits on dandelion greens. Really high in vitamin C. Okay, also contain vitamin A for your eyes. And I want to make sure I get it. Anti-inflammatory properties, can help control with inflammation. I said C. Oh, and K. I thought so. Vitamin K for your bones. That's all in dandelions. We have calcium. We have iron. Okay, this is all in the dandelion. Dandelions they can help you cleanse the body, as we mentioned before. So they're diuretic in nature. So they cleanse excess stored fat out of your system. If you have any type of bloating, it can help, cleanse that out of there. And so really good for the liver, cleanses the liver. If you, God forbid, have situations such as a fatty liver, dandelion greens would be awesome for that. Dandelion greens are also great for your skin. Okay. They have anti-aging benefits in them. And they also have, so I mentioned vitamin A, which is really good for your eyes. They have antioxidants in them. Lutein and xylithan, which are known to really, really help your eyes. You find that in the dandelions. Really good for digestion. They help to promote good gut bacteria. There's so many wonderful things about the dandelion greens. Good for your heart. Good for reducing high blood pressure. They're also good for reducing high cholesterol. Okay, so that's what dandelions are known for. I'm seeing if I can cover all this. So, but what most people are talking about right now is that the dandelion can help with cancer. Dandelions have anti-inflammatory properties, which are good, but they also help, if you have cancer, cleansing the body. And some researchers suggest that compounds in dandelions may protect against cancer. A number of test tube studies have shown that exposing different cancer cells to an alcohol-based dandelion extract has an effect similar to chemotherapy without using chemotherapy side effects. Okay. Now, gotta run, Clarette, but this was very informative. Thanks, Val. Have a great day. Thank you, Colette. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Now, again, all of these plant medicines and healing properties that I'm talking about, I am not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing anything. This is just research that I'm sharing with you for your own personal information if you choose to use the dandelion for your own purposes. Okay. With that being said, I hope most people realize that humans have literally been healing their bodies with plants for hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years. Since before recorded history, we've been using plants to heal the body. Everything that could possibly go wrong with your body, there is a plant to help heal it. Okay? So please don't be afraid of plants. Please be afraid of pharmaceutical drugs that are created in a laboratory that are basically chemicals. The human body was not made to ingest chemicals, period. End of sentence. Okay. Speaking of which, I am teaching this wonderful series of classes called Healing with Foods number 2. I call it number 2 because last year I did the number 1 series. So in this class, I'm teaching all about the healing properties of food because food is medicine. So Saturday, May 11th, from 11 a.m. till 12:30 p.m., I'm teaching the second class in the series. And in that class, I'm going to teach about one of my all-time favorite flavorings, spices, food, basil. I adore basil. I use basil in my cooking all the time. I have a little bit of a basil plant here. It's kind of wilted. I have to use it up today. So this is fresh basil. Also in the class, I'm going to be teaching about dead nettles. This is another plant that I pick out of my yard all the time. And I've been using this for almost 7 years now. I pick it, I dry it. Strong anti-inflammatory properties. My dad swears that this plant helped bring down his high blood pressure. So I'm going to be teaching you all kinds of healing properties of dead nettles. And in that class, also mustard. Okay, ground mustard seed, not yellow mustard like what you eat on your food, although I adore yellow mustard. In the class, I'm going to be teaching mustard seed. So I'm going to teach how to make poultices, how to make specialty teas. When would you use these foods? What are they good for? That's all going to be in the class on May 11th. That is the next Healing with Food #2 cooking class. And let me share the screen. Okay, here's my website, macroval.com. Make sure you go there and check out everything I have to offer. Look, I have, where is it? Recipe of the month. You want a recipe? Here it is. For the month of April, I taught how to cook the whole grain barley because some people don't know how to cook whole grains properly. So there's barley. I will be adding a class in May, a recipe of the month. Here is the home page, and it says Healing with Food #2. For details, click right here. You go here, and here are the details. Now, the first class I already taught, but you can get the recording and the 9-page booklet of information on the foods. The first class was on umeboshi plums, the miso, and nori, sea vegetable. That's this one right here. The second class, like I mentioned, here's dead nettles growing in my yard. This is May 11th. And the third class is, where's the third class? Here it is. Cabbage poultice and tofu poultice. So I'm going to teach you how to make a cabbage poultice and a tofu poultice. Why would you want to do that? What type of conditions would it help heal? All right. So once you come to the class, you can attend in person. It's virtual. I'm sorry, it's not in person. I meant you can attend virtual. You'll get the information packet, and then after it's over with, I'll send you a recording of the class too. So all 3 of the classes is $90. Wonderful information here. You definitely want to take advantage of that. Here are my upcoming cooking classes for the month of May. The class I just told you about with the asparagus cake. That's it right there. Okay, so this is my website. If you get a chance, you can take a look at that. Let me stop screen sharing here. Stop screen sharing. So Healing with Foods. Yeah, you want to take advantage of that. Let's check the tea and do a taste test. So at the beginning of the live, I started my dandelion flower tea, my dandelion green tea, and my dandelion root tea. So now let's go and do a taste test. All right, let's get 3 cups here. All right, here's our 3 cups. Let's move some of this stuff over. Here we go. 3 cups. Okay, let's do this is the dandelion root tea because this is a tea bag. Okay, so we don't need to strain the tea bag. You just need to pour it in like so. Okay, now let's do the dandelion green. Dandelion greens. Next, so here they are. This pan is kind of big, but I got a strainer here, so dandelion greens. There we go. And then we will do the dandelion flower tea. There's all the flowers in there. I got a strainer for that one. All right. Did a little bit of spill. So let's look at the color difference first. This is so interesting. Okay. All right. So we have the root, the greens, and the flower. So the flower is definitely more yellow. Okay. The green part is definitely a little more green. Those are the greens. And then here's the root. And the root is the darkest color one by far. Okay. Let's do a taste test. All right. So let's start with the most yin part of the plant, which would be the flower. That is really good. It's a very uplifting, light energy tea, and it has a little bit of a flower essence in it, I would say. Very good. Now, the one that I drink most often is the dandelion green tea. So, oh yeah, love this one. This one doesn't have the underlying flower taste. So that's why I kind of like this one a little more. There's nothing wrong with the flower taste. I like the green part. I like the green taste more. Oh, yeah. I love that one. And then we'll do dandelion root. Ooh, that's earthy. Wow, is that earthy? Oh, woo, earthy, earthy, earthy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. What a difference. The root is so much more robust, so much denser, so much stronger. This was awesome. This taste test was awesome. I was talking about this. Where was I? I can't remember. I was talking about this, but I was working with a client. So I do counseling also, and I was talking about dandelion. I was suggesting dandelion to them, and they said, "Well, what should we do? Should we do the greens or the root?" And here was my. This was vividly illustrated in my taste buds what I was talking about. So in macrobiotics, which my background is in macrobiotics, we talk a lot about the energy of the food, which eating healthy is so important. And you want to eat food from Mother Nature. But to go a step above that, to learn even more about the healing benefits of food, you study the energy of the food. And so there's two opposite energies that come together in everything, yin and yang. Yin is an upward light energy. Yang is a downward constrictive energy. So in the dandelion, we have underneath here would be where the root was growing. And then we have the green part here, right? We have like a stem, right? And then we have the flower. So the flower is most upwards. Okay, this is the yin part. And it's also expansive because the flower will show up for a short period of time and then it'll turn to seed and then it'll disappear and be gone. That's very yin energy, uplifting, short, evasive, flowing, there for a period of time. The root grows downward. It's constrictive. It's tight. It's strengthening. It's the strongest part of the plant. There's your yang. In between is the green part. That's kind of balanced. It has a little bit of yin, a little bit of yang energy. Okay. So when I drank this tea, the flower part was the most uplifting, most lighter, most flowery part. I would say etheric. Most etheric part was the flower part. The green part, which was the middle balance, that's actually was my personal favorite. I liked it. I liked the green flavor. I liked the it just made me kind of, I don't know, it made my taste buds kind of happy. And then when I drank the root, you saw my reaction. I was like, whoa, this one is really like, it's there. It's like yang. It's got that flavor. And the only thing I could say was it is so earthy. This is very grounding. This will ground you. Okay. So when it comes to healing purposes, out of these three, if you had, God forbid, a disease, dis-ease that you were trying to deal. And because we mentioned that dandelion has some cancer, some anti-cancer properties, if you were dealing with a cancer, I would say you would need the strongest one, which would be the root. You need the yang one, okay? This is the one you need. Unless your cancer was derived from a yang source. So there's that in it too. These are general guidelines, okay? But the yin one, the most uplifting and everything, this would be for a liver cleanse. You would drink this one right now when the flowers are available, while it's in season. This is when you want this right now. And this one would be the lighter energy going into your body. The root one would be the stronger medicinal purposes. And the flavor, wow, that was such an awesome demonstration. I really like that for the three of them right there. I don't know, if you get a chance, do the taste test yourself at home. That was really cool. That was awesome. Dandelion greens. You get them in your diet, no matter how you possibly can. So a few things before I go. If you have any more questions, put them in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please hit that like button. Now, I go live on Facebook and YouTube. And so if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel yet, please get a chance to do that. You can go to Chef Valerie Wilson on YouTube, and you can, what's the word I'm looking for? Subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. That really helps. And if you like the video, go ahead and share it. Greatly appreciate that. And another thing that you can do to learn more about what I have to offer is subscribe to my Substack blog. Okay, so this is the last blog that I just wrote, which is Spring Plants for Your Health. And in here, I talk about wild violet flowers. This is the live video I did on wild violet flowers. I talk about henbite, this plant right here, which grows in my yard. And then I did a live on henbite, so you can watch that. And also asparagus, one of my favorite vegetables, and split peas. These are all springtime vegetables, springtime foods. This is what you want. These are classes that I've already taught. Here's the Healing with Foods classes. But this is my Substack. It's my blog. You can subscribe for free, or you can choose to become a paid subscriber, which I greatly appreciate, because then you're supporting my business and my efforts and all the research that I do to bring the blog to you and to bring videos such as this to you, which dandelion greens. Here, before we go, I wanted to let you know about another thing that I'm very passionate about, and I've been sharing this in all of my live videos, is my the Porcupine Mountains. So if you watched my last videos, you know that they're proposing putting a mine right next to the Porcupine Mountains, which is right next to Lake Superior. So we don't want that to happen. And so I wrote a blog about, excuse me, I apologize. That's my phone ringing. This is the blog that I wrote about the Porcupine Mountains. This is from February 19th. Did you know this pristine wilderness area called the Porcupine Mountains is in danger of being ruined by a mine? The mine would create a huge disruption in the forest, create a lot of noise and light pollution, and could possibly pollute the largest supply of fresh water, which is Lake Superior. This is Lake of the Clouds in the Porcupine Mountains. This is the most photographed place in the state of Michigan. So this is a Michigan state park, the Porcupine Mountains. Do you know there is something very easy that you can do to help prevent this? You can sign the petition right here on this website, Protect the Porkies. You can sign this petition. So this is my Substack blog. There's videos about what's going on up there. Okay. Stop screen sharing. All right. Now, let me share you this one last thing. Where is it? I'm looking for. Sorry. Here it is. Protect the Porkies. This is their website. Okay, this is what you want to be looking at. This is the website you want to go to learn more about this. Now, if you don't live in the state of Michigan, you still want to know about this because the Porcupine Mountain State Park is someplace that tourists come from all over the world to visit this beautiful state park. Here is what's going on. There would be 30 plus million tons of mine waste right here. And here is Lake Superior. And the potential of gravity collapsing this and having it fall into Lake Superior is a high probability. So here's a map. This is the Porcupine Mountain State Park. This is where they're proposing the mine site right here, right in the middle of it, right next to the North County Trail. This is the North County Road. This is where's the trail? The trail is a really long hiking trail that many people go and hike on. So it's located firmly in an 1842 treaty territory also. So here's another great way to learn more. Go here where the videos are. They have a YouTube channel. Their videos are very, very powerful. They show you images of what's going on up there, what it looks like, what is at stake, how it will disrupt the beautiful, pristine land that's up there. This is like untamed wilderness. It's beautiful up there. So these are the videos. This is the road, County Road 519. It's located down here. Look at this. When you go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, it's just woods and trees as long as this is what the roads look like up there. And they want to put a mine site up there. All right. So I want to share that too. I like to mention that every time that I teach a cooking class, every time that I go live on Facebook and YouTube, I like to mention the Protect Your Porkies. Please go to that website and find out more about it. And please sign the petition to stop the mine from being put in this pristine wilderness. All right. Okay, so today I went over dandelions, the root, the green part, and the flower. Go outside and pick some dandelions now and make some tea. Okay, your liver will thank you for it. You'll cleanse your body of toxins. You'll create anti-inflammatory properties in your body. You'll get vitamin C. You'll get vitamin K for your bones, which would be fantastic. The healing benefits are enormous. If you can't go outside and pick the dandelion greens, look for them at your local grocery store. Please buy organic dandelion greens. For all the information about everything I offer, go to macroval.com. I would love to see you in an upcoming cooking classes. The cooking class, the next one is May 22nd, where I'm going to teach you how to make this amazing asparagus cake with sweet potato frosting, along with the quinoa chickpea dish and split pea soup with asparagus. And I also have the Healing with Foods, which is May 11th. I will be covering basil, mustard, and dead lentils. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day because it's absolutely beautiful outside. All right. Thank you so much. And remember, get in the kitchen and cook healthy.